Hi, welcome to another episode of Book Review with MS Training. This book has been recommended by every other person, and it is a must read by the very famous author. I'm not going to be taking a lot of time of yours, and I'm going to be showing you the book very soon. We have a new guest here with us who has already read the book, and she is here to share her views about the book with us. So I welcome Karishma. Thank you for your time today with us here on the show. And I also would like you to reveal the name of the book and share your first experience when you heard about the name of this book and the author.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, everyone. And thank you so much for calling me here. So, I'll not take much time. I'll show you the book. It is the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It's by Robin Sharma. So, basically, all of us are wondering something to do in our lives, right? But there has to be some path. There has to be some trailblazer who can, show us the path and guide us throughout our journey. That what exactly we want throughout this, and that happens only when you start planting that thought in your mind. It all starts from a single thought, and then finally it leads to a particular destination. So this book by Robin Sharma, he in this book, he very beautifully he points out such parameters of our lives that we have to keep this thing in mind while we are doing something. So I would like to narrate a very small story which the author himself he has narrated in the book. And through this small story, he has given us certain points which are called as the symbols, the seven symbols, or we can also say them that these are the seven virtues which one must follow in his life to get something or the other which he or she is wanting or is desiring in his life. So I would like to start by it, like he gives us a example that someday you are just sitting in a garden and you see a lighthouse, then you see a sumo wrestler coming from the lighthouse, then you see a path, then you see certain roses and all such things. So when somebody listens to this story, like I'm not telling you the entire story because that is going to
Yeah.
break that the storyline in the novel. So I would like to say that when you read this book, then you encounter the story, and after you read it 4 to 5 lines of the story, you feel like what foolish kind of story is this. When I read it for the first time, I also felt the same thing, that it is not taking us anything. What is the lighthouse, then flowers? This is like you are talking to a kid. It happens that way. But slowly and gradually, when you come over this book and you then know the highlights of the book, that the lighthouse is symbolizing something, then the lush green garden is symbolizing something, or the flowers, the yellow roses, they are symbolizing something, and the lastly the path of diamond is symbolizing something. So here I would like to tell you what all are these parameters. So
Yeah.
basically, when you are in a lush green garden, so when you sit in a lush green garden, you will have good vibes all throughout. But when I tell you that go and sit in some desert, you will feel like, oh my god, where am I? There is no wind, there is no water, there is no greenery, no clouds. So that is the phase of mind you have to, all of us have to cultivate, for that matter.
Yeah.
For example, when we are going on to the mountains, why most of us go to the mountains, it's because we want to enjoy the serene mountains, or grasses, trees, and all flora and fauna of the mountains, right? So basically all such small things, they create an impact upon our mind. That impact is very beautiful. Like we see that, okay, we all of us have seen in our lives today that each every third person, they want to go to the mountain. Why? The reason is that they want to have peace in their life. So basically that lush green garden, in that story, that signifies the peace, that signifies the how you are cultivating thoughts in your mind. If you are
Right.
giving good thoughts to your mind, you are definitely going to lead a good life. Like
Yeah.
it is also said that in this book, throughout this particular story, that if you are cultivating good thoughts, again and again you are reminding to yourself that I am good, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to complete my task. So you are actually giving that fodder to your mind, which then someday it will lead to your destination.
Yeah.
So that is the significance of that lush green garden. Basically, it could not be related to the story directly when you read it, but once you proceed further into the book, then you will see that how beautifully the author has quoted this. So basically, what does that yeah, that sumo wrestler shows us. So that sumo wrestler is an example of kaizen, which the author has given in the book. So basically, what does this kaizen mean? It's a very beautiful word and a quite interesting word, which means the persistency or the amount of consistency you put in into some work. So basically, you are working hard. That has
Yeah,
to be a consistent hard work. Like sometimes we say, okay, I have studied today for 12 hours or 10 hours. Sometimes we say, I do not feel like studying. So when
yeah.
you come to your results, that results will not be that what we wanted or what we desired. So now
Mhm.
this kaizen will come into the practice. So once all of us practice that kaizen, we can lead to the desired result. So that is basically the sumo wrestler. He has a very good body, very what we say in a very hatta katta body. So that actually has been got through his practice. He has constantly practiced to get that body.
Exactly.
Now
Yeah,
the other parameter in this book, it is related to the sumo wrestler only. So you see, when we picturize a sumo wrestler, the only piece of cloth which we can found in his body is on his private parts. The rest of the body is
yeah.
completely naked. So when you
Yes.
come to the when we come to that private part cloth, basically it's a wire cable, pink wire cable, which the author has given us. So again, when we come back to the story, we will find that what kind of foolish thing is he talking about? What does this fire? What does this wire means? But actually, it's a very depth level thought which is behind those wires. So when we look at that wire, the coiling of those wires, so a very small wires together they have clubbed up, and then they have formed those strong wire which is covering his private body part. So when I talk to you, this is just an example of it. Like for example, if when we are working out, let's say for some of us, we want to lose weight. So we are going to gym, we are going for running, but after 2 days we see that we have run for 1 hour, 2 hours, but we are not seeing any changes. So the small changes, when you club up over a period of time, then you see the final change. Then we actually
Right.
visualize that result. So that exactly is the power. So when these small efforts, while they are separated, they cannot give us a very good result. But while you club up them together, then definitely one day comes when you are able to see that result, that desired result.
Yeah.
Now again, the other parameter, which is I think the final, and there are 2 to 3 parameters. I'll not name the all the parameters because that's obviously the viewers part who are going to pick up the book for that matter. So the other parameter is the most, I think, intriguing and most mind blowing for me in the book. That is the path. That is the diamond path. So it is like all of us are having something in our mind, that for today we are working hard so that our tomorrow could be better, so that tomorrow we can get diamonds, not diamonds in real, but the diamonds of our life, what actually we are visualizing to get, right?
Yeah.
So now the author says that if you want to actually get those diamonds, so you have to imagine, or you have to start believing in the fact that you have to focus on the presence. So the path of diamond is the path of today, the path of presence which you are following. So if you are presently not doing anything, you are just brooding into your future or thinking about your past, you are going to get nowhere,
Yeah.
right? So the main agenda of the author is that you just have to look about your past. You don't, on all of us, we are somewhere or the other, at one or the other point of time in a life, we are the prisoners of our past. We all keep thinking that in past we have made some such mistakes, so how we can do something good in our future. So it is just like that. While you imagine the future, so you have to think that for that future you have to focus on your present. So that this book talks about that. So this was just
Yeah.
a basic crux of the book. Yeah.
So actually, the beautiful part about Robin Sharma is that he puts and he narrates everything in a simpler manner and he puts it in a storyline. So when he puts it across as a storyline, so it is you connect well with the entire book. So he always would have a character who the character depicts his life, and that is the way he goes on ahead. So the few insights that you have completely mentioned, right, is one is escapism. When we try to, go to the mountains and when we have a journey or we want to go somewhere to find peace, it's escapism. And because we are so much surrounded with so much noise in our head that we find a peace somewhere. I am a trekker too, so yeah, that is the place where I find peace. I find answers to my questions. I feel that this is the place that I can be. And when you reach on top, especially, then you realize whatever you are surrounded with, that is so much limited, and this is so much broader. So your thoughts awaken, and you're more closer to the nature. So that is why it is always important to be in touch with nature, to be in touch with the greenery. So one point that is aptly said. Second, when you said about the sumo wrestler, it's very true to have a dedication, commitment to something in your life, and if you keep that up, so then that is when you will have the results. We all struggle to, we all have a, pathway, or we have a set thing, a goal that we put in every new year, that this is what I'll do. But how long does that goal sustain in the new year? Every time we mention that, maximum I would say for a month. So the sustainability, the habit that we form should be for a long run. So that is again very well said by you. So yeah, these are the things that he puts across beautifully in the book. So Robin Sharma is a very good narrator and a very good self-help writer. So some insights that I have got from the book are, the main reason for this book is a reflection to yourself, a reflection to your love, a reflection to your physicality. So, a reflection to your words also. So, the word that you have said, do you think something has to be undone? How can you undo it? Or maybe you think that this can be done in a different way. So, that is a reflection to yourself and the words that you've said. Reflection to your physicality is doing your exercise. Reflection to your love is understanding that how much do you love yourself, and would that love then overflow to give it across to people. So the book is mainly about the reflection to yourself, and to your inner self mainly. So that is the one summarization. Now, if I would put it across, that the first time when I read the book, also I was like, "Oh, it's another just a monk story." So that was the title that I was just thinking. But then he's like, "Why would a monk have a Ferrari in the first place? It is materialistic." So then when I started reading the book, then is when I understood, oh, this has a different story, and it every person in us has the spirituality within us. The only thing is that spirituality awakened. So this book helps you awaken your inner spirituality. So it that way helped me out. Now the other question that I would like to ask you is, this book definitely I know that has an impact in your life. What is the thing that has changed in your life after you read this book?
So basically, as you have pointed out, that it's a reflection, which while
Yeah.
we get it once we read this book. So when I finished reading this book, I realized that actually it's all about your mind, all about the thought which you're putting into mind. So I myself feel that I am very close to spirituality, and I believe a lot of things on that. Then, so that is the reason that I connected this to this book very particularly in my like in my own life. So one thing which I felt is a very the essence of the book. It talks about that the purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. So that is a very beautiful thing, the Robin Sharma, as you have said, that he's a wonderful narrator. He narrates the entire things in the book in such a way that nobody is going to stop in between. He or she will always be, that inquisitiveness will always be there, that I have to complete this book anyhow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
one thing which have struck me the most throughout this book, basically in one or the other framework of his write up, he's just coming to one point again and again through the 7 different virtues, is that the beginning of everything, that is the thought. So if our thoughts are in control, then we say that everything could be controlled. So in one line he have said that all of us, we wonder that it was not in our destiny, maybe this could not be destined. So he lays emphasis upon that if you have good thought control, perhaps you can control your own destiny.
And so I guess we have covered most of the part as to why the reader should read this book, but then to a small takeaway that why you should read this book.
One thing which I would like to highlight is that this book is of that type that it doesn't matter which age group you belong to. Are you a school going student, or you're a college going student, or you're working professional, or you are somebody's grandmothers or grandparents? It doesn't matter. It can fit into any age group.
Any,
So
Yeah. Perfect.
anything you are, struggling through your life, that why it is not happening, because sometimes it feels that somebody takes spirituality to some other level. They all start
Right.
believing in all those superstitious beliefs and this that. So this is what the beauty of the book is, that it, at the end of the book, at the end of the day, while you completed reading the book, you will realize that it is all us who are going to lead the life the way we want to.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend you go through this book. Then you will start falling in love with reading, and the thought process will definitely going to change. So
Yeah, the
these are the
quality
reasons.
of books definitely matter, as in what choice do you make, especially for the first readers. So I think that is very nice to put it across. If you're a first reader or a beginner, this book will change your perspective about books and reading also. So thank you for your recommendation. We have heard as why we should be reading this book, and this was a short review on The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. And if you have read this book, I have another recommendation, that is The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma
Yeah.
again. So that is another very good book and very good read. If you find time, read that book too, and let us know any other suggestions or any other book that we should review. MS Training will take that up in our next review session. Please comment your views about this book in the comment section below, and please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.